Okay, so here's our Google Hangout about our 3 books. So while reading Ericka's book, do I really have to teach reading? What I got most from her presentation was that good questions are the key to reading success. So like when you start to read, you should have questions in your mind about the text, like whether you're just looking at the title and thinking, okay, what's this book going to be about? Or just infer things from the title. I also meaning arrives because we're purposely engaged in thinking while we read, and then good readers ask their own questions based on their need of deeper understanding. So try to actually understand your text and then uncover your own strategies and teach those to your students when you are a teacher. That way they can read better. And also, like, you can't expect the students to get the material the first time, so you're going to need to explain it, go over it with them, and yeah. And then so for Kylie's book, this one what I got from this one was multisensory. It's a method of teaching that allows for students of all learning abilities to benefit. There's different types of memory systems. There's systems like working systems, episodic memory, procedural memory, automatic memory, also emotional memory and relational memory. And multisensory is being able to stimulate 2 or more of the memory systems. And yes.
Okay. So what I got from Shelby's book, there was a lot to it. It was mostly about logical thinking. So one of the big ideas that really struck me when we were discussing it was that students need to be reading for craft and structure. So they need to be reading for meaning, basically. They need to go beyond the text, read between the lines, to have that deeper understanding of the text so that they will be able to make inferences. If they're not having that deeper meaning, then it's just going to be surface understanding. They're not really going to understand the comprehension questions if you're having comprehension questions at the end. And that there is an importance of information reading to learn, following an author's reasoning, and read to analyze claims and support these claims with evidence. I know that in the real world, we're having to have these kids support everything with evidence from the book. So this book is really digging deep and having them talking about them learning how to not only find that deeper meaning, but also cite the evidence. With Kylie's, what I made notes on was the attention disorders. Some of the main ideas are going to be that 2.6 million children ages 6 to 11 have some sort of attention disorder. There are different levels of attention disorders like ADD, ADHD. They're 2 totally different things. The first level, survival mode. So students with Huntington disorder will revert back to survival mode. The second level is interest mode. So students will pay attention to what they're interested in. The third level is selective mode. So students at this level are at the highest level. This is the goal for all students. Sorry guys, I just had a job come in. And so, yeah, that's basically what it is. Her book's all about, well, the section that I had gathered information on was all about the attention disorders. And it's really good information. I didn't know about the levels.
So for Ericka's book that she went over, it went over group work and why it's essential for students to interact in a group. So group work is a good thing when working with students during a challenging task because it allows them to interact with each other and learn from each other and being able to get different ideas. And that's a big thing for Common Core. So it also allows for them to grow with their literacy. So whatever they read, they're able to connect with other people's ideas and thoughts. Group work also allows for reflection on their own experiences. So during group work, students are able to think back on things that they've gone through and then connect it to the material that they've read. And then for Shelby's, I got that text
It's a weird
text
word.
complexity is the main idea of Common Core state standards because students need to be able to read more complex texts. So students will not be able to explain the main idea of the text they read if they cannot comprehend what they read. So it's really important for students to be able to understand the material that they've been given and so that way they are able to comprehend it and understand it and give it back to the teachers. That way they can assess them. This chapter also explains, or this book also explains that accuracy without strong literal comprehension is not reading. The California or Common Core state standards suggests for grade level appropriate texts. So those are the things that I got from these two books.
So I would say that overall, all the books have kind of the same idea. They're talking a lot about what we're doing with Common Core, where you're having to really have the children be able to explain what they're doing, explain their thinking, their reasoning, have evidence to support it, instead of just reading just for whatever. They're reading for understanding, they're reading for meaning, they're pulling context out of the book. It's really asking them, all three books really have strategies that are asking them to dig deep, so that it's not just here's whatever, memorize it, and then regurgitate it back to me, but instead it's you can ask them a question and they're going to be able to sit there and explain it to you and be completely confident that they understand what they're talking about. Yeah, so the book names, mine is,
Okay.
Do I Really Have to Teach Reading?
Okay. And then also the book that I did was Pathways to Common Core, Accelerating Achievement.
And then my book was Brain-Friendly Strategies for the Inclusion Classroom.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks.